is my personal one. So, just to show you guys what kind of items are in here. First of all, CO2 canisters. This is personally it's really a preference. I personally like to carry these instead of a pump. So I have these guys. I have an adapter. So in case you have a compressor valve, so like you do, and you get stuck in the middle of nowhere, you don't have a pump, you don't have a CO2 cartridge, you can stick this on there, go to a gas station, inflate your tires. Alright? This is like $2. Very handy. A CO2 dispenser. So this guy would take this, throw it in here, and then I'll use it right now so you guys can see it. And it'll rush air out. Again, works better than the pump. It's a lot smaller, more compact. Tire levers, of course. And I always personally carry two tubes. In case one goes wrong, then you have a spare. And ideally, you'll have a patch kit, but unfortunately, I don't carry that. But those would be pretty much the necessary items. Alright, and if you have pinheads, the key obviously. So pull this away. I'll use that. So of course, for you guys, you're not gonna have sand like we do. We just kind of put it up. So what you're going to do is, I'll do the back wheel because it's the hardest. What you always want to do is shift to the smallest cogs, both back and front, right? And you know how to do that, just put down, pedal through, until you're at the smallest, okay? When you're there, you're going to, actually, do you have your key? No problem.
What setting do you put it on to put it on the smallest?
So the highest. So
the highest
9,
number brings it to the smallest cog,
yes.
right?
And on the opposite side, it's the lowest number.
Okay, I'm just learning how to ride. I only learned how to ride last year, so I'm learning a lot.
Okay. Perfect. You guys can stop me at any time and ask me any questions, okay? Alright, so you would obviously flip the bike over. Being careful that you're not gonna scratch up or damage anything.
Excuse me. I'm thinking about new shoes.
But once the bikes are flipped over, you would either have, if you have a quick release, you can pop it open, or if you have a bolt on one.
I do not have quick release.
You don't? You have a hex
You have
nut?
to take the nut out, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So for you, you would want to carry a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this guy, so to loosen this guy, you're familiar with how to remove these and everything?
Yeah.
You need to jump in here? I can move up, just move it back. That's fine. So you loosen this guy up, loosen up your wheel. Then what you want to do is, you want to catch this side, you can pull back the derailleur, right?
Yeah.
So you can give the wheel room to come up.
Right, okay.
Alright? So as soon as you do that, oh wait, missed we missed one step. And that is to open your brakes. I'm going to redo it in front so we can kind of grab that step. But on both brakes, you got something like this. It's called a V brake.
Yeah.
To pop it open, you would clamp both brakes and pop this guy out of its place.
Okay.
You guys kind of see that?
Yeah.
So just like that. And then put it back, of course, and just try to get it back in there. Okay? But we're popping it out, opening it, and that way we can pull the wheel off.
Yeah.
Now we go ahead and loosen the wheel. Pull back, pull the wheel up. Comes right out. Sometimes you kind of need to force it a little bit.
So when I bought these were
So you got a kickstand. That's it. So you don't have to deal with kickstand open.
Got it. Okay.
But once you got that out,
I just wanted to upgrade my whole bike.
of course, if you had it flat, so this would already be there's no air.
No, I'm good, man.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
So once you do this, most tires will tend to stick to the rim. So what you want to do is kind of just go through it and loosen it up. Alright? Kind of pop it off the rim. Just so it makes it a lot easier to remove.
Isn't there a tool to do that with?
No, so this part will just be with your hands, just because you're unsticking it. But afterwards, so now that I'm done, right, you'll get your tire levers,
Right.
which is the tool. You would, personally, the way I like to do it, is if, also don't forget to remove this lock ring. Just because then it'll make it hard to remove too. But once that's out,
Do all bikes have that?
no, not all bikes.
I don't think mine has that.
Yeah, you probably have something more like a more standard valve.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
But so like I said, personal preference. Valve always at the bottom.
Okay.
This is the point of less tension, so the tire is easiest to remove here.
That's hard to do if you have arthritic hands too.
Oh yes, it's kind of hard. But so opposite side, it's easier here. Use the hook end, right, to grab the bead. See that? Grab the bead. You're gonna pull it over the rim, flat like that, and then you're gonna pull back.
So, yeah.
And it just comes right out. Then once again, you have the valve at the bottom.
Right.
You did a whole rotation.
Yeah.
From here, you can reach in, pull the tube. You can pull down and pull up. Right?
Oh, okay.
Tube comes right out.
Yeah.
And flip it around. You can pull the tire back. Valve comes right out.
Right out. Yeah.
Alrighty. So once you've done that, again, this is my personal favorite. This is what I like to carry around. I don't like to carry around pumps.
Right.
But so this, I'm just gonna use one.
Would that be more expensive than a pump overall?
It's actually cheaper.
Cheaper?
It's more expensive, like throughout time, because this set is $20, and then each one of these is $4, and because these are only one-time use. But if you're not getting flats that often, I mean they're for emergency use only.
Yeah.
This is cheaper. I haven't used one yet, so. And I bought like a box of 50. So.
Okay, so how about the holder for that? How much does the holder cost?
So it's one pack. Well, this specific one is about like the pack is about $40. There's a smaller version which is $20.
Do they say, is it a standard size it fits? You know, those little tubes, they're a standard size that they would fit into?
Yes. It works with both kinds. But so I have it here.
Push the button to release the air.
Yeah, so this particular one has a lock, right? I would open it, push it on. You saw? So it pumps it up immediately.
Yeah.
But what you would, so after removing the tube, what you want to do is use your pump, inflate it.
Yeah.
If it has a hole, it'll start leaking out,
Right.
obviously. So the point of that is, if you can find where the hole is, you can kind of trace it back to where it is in the tire.
Excuse me, what's the best way to find that? Do you just feel until you,
Yes,
you feel
exactly. You just want to kind of go around. Sometimes you can see it like very, very vivid, right in front of you. So it's different every time. Sometimes it's really small and you can't find it. In which case, even if you do find it, what you want to do is go back to the tire. So again, just pretend I found it on the side.
Right.
You would go back to the tire, go to the side, kind of run your fingers through it very slowly.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, because there's a piece of glass, you can cut yourself, so just be careful, of course. But if you find that piece, you can remove it. If you can't find the hole in the tube, run your hands through it very slowly. And most of the times you will find a small wire that punctures literally like a little pin. pinhole. So you want to be careful with that. All right.
Sorry, really quick. You didn't bring out the guy with the P3?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, Pablo told me that you did it.
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're good. Sorry, where was I?
Going through, feeling, checking.
Yeah, so you feel it through? Yeah, exactly. And then, so just make sure there's nothing in the tire.
Right.
When you're done with that, you're gonna go to your new tube. Again, inflate it a little bit.
Right.
Kind of to get, because when it's brand new, it's folded up as you saw in my pack.
Right.
So you want to give it a little shape. And then most of the time you'll need to let air out. Because again, you just want the shape, you don't want it to be flat.
Right.
But then you kind of work backwards, right? So you'll start with the valve hole on top.
Okay. Yeah.
You're going to pull the tire back. Valve goes in. Tire goes over. And then you're going to tuck the tube in. You see that? It's all the way in. And then you're going to throw tire over slowly. Alright? You're going to go slowly. You don't want to do this and have the tube sort of coming out. You want to make sure that it's inside the tire. Okay? So just keep going.
So you don't completely inflate the inner tube.
No.
You just put it in, partially inflated. Right?
Exactly. Just enough to give it the shape. But here it sometimes gets a little tough. You can do it with your hands, but the easiest way is if you grab a tire lever. Again, you're working backwards, so instead of using the hook end to pull the tire off, you're going to use the hook end to grab the rim and then throw the tire on.
Okay.
See that?
Yeah.
So it throws it on. You do want to be very careful with that though, because sometimes when you do that, you'll kind of bite into the tube and then cause another hole.
Right.
Okay? So if you can do it with your hands, it's
excuse me,
easier.
Sorry. Is that sharp enough to cut into the...
It's not, but if you apply enough pressure, it'll cause a little small hole in the tube. This is only plastic, so this wouldn't scratch anything. There are plastic ones metal ones that they sell. Do not buy them. I don't recommend them. They will always puncture the tube and damage your rim, for that matter.
Right.
But so once you're here, you make sure that the tube is all inside and it's not seeping out.
Right.
You go back to the valve, just push it in, and make sure it goes all the way in. Sometimes it gets really tough, so you use your tire lever to grab it and then push up, okay? And you just want to make sure that this is loose, because if it's not, what happens is that pressure will build up here and the tube will blow again, okay? So once you're here...
So in other words, make sure that it goes...
Exactly, that there's movement.
It can move
Yes.
easily, right?
Exactly. So after this, you use your lock ring, okay? Secure this in place. So just throw that on. Okay. Then use your pump. And inflate it slowly. Inflate slowly because sometimes the tube will still seep out. So you just want to kind of inflate it halfway, inspect.
Double check, right?
Exactly. And then if nothing's wrong, go back. And inflate all the way.
So essentially, you're supposed to make sure that the tire is firm as you're inflating it.
Exactly.
But how firm?
So this will only go up to a certain PSI. It won't get you to where you need to be.
Right.
It's just enough to get you home. Alright? Or get you to another bike shop.
So it won't be enough to explode it, in other words.
Exactly, yeah. As long as your tube isn't seeping out, it won't explode again.
Okay.
But if it is, then it could pop. Okay? Once you make sure of that, you have enough air here to get you home. You'll go back to the bike.
Yeah.
You have two chains, right? You have the lower, upper.
Yeah.
You're gonna pick up the upper chain,
Okay.
get the cassette in between both, right?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna make sure that the
Drop
chain
on the smallest.
on the smallest.
Yeah.
Exactly. and then you're just gonna kind of push down, making sure that you specifically, you want to make sure that all these lock rings sit properly.
How did you do that? It just slides back in?
Yes, it pretty much just kind of goes in. So as soon as you get it on over here, right?
Yeah.
Get it on there, it will come down. Again, just make sure that these washers are
Yeah.
all to the outside of the frame.
Okay.
Okay, and then you just kind of want to push down, push down. You might need to like mess around with it a little bit, but that's it. Benefit of having the bike upside down is that the wheel will center automatically.
Got it.
Alright? So you just push down, make sure it's tight, make sure it's not rubbing anywhere, here, right?
Yep.
And then you'll just tighten your wheel back up. So you grab this. Alrighty. So once you've done that,
Got it. Okay.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Alright, you have your wheel back in place, you can flip your bike over. One thing you do want to do is kind of just pedal through. Bike's backwards, you have to pedal backwards.
Right.
And upside down, so you can pedal backwards. Just to make sure that the gears are in place. Alright? Afterwards, flip your bike over.
If they aren't in place, then what will happen?
Then you can just have issues like with your gears. So you just want to like loosen up the quick release or the nuts or the pinheads and just center the wheel again. Okay? So then from here you go back to your brake. Just clamp it. So clamp both, right, against the wheel. You can just pull on this
Okay.
and it'll clamp that side and you just push against with your hand.
Right.
With your thumb you'll use that.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Alright, and then just kind of hit your brake, make sure you have even play on both sides. And make sure your wheel is rolling. What's that? Alright. Again, this is CO2, it's not like actual, pumped air.
Right.
So it'll dissipate a lot quicker, so in about 2 days this will go flat. Just because that air will, come out a lot quicker.
Yeah.
So you just want to come back to the shop and inflate it with regular air. Alright?
But can you put in regular air right now?
You can, yeah. I'm gonna do that quickly just so you so that's one flat. I can do the front. You guys want to see it one more time?
Well, sure, that's fine.
Alright. So front is a lot easier. Of course, you don't have to mess with all the gears or
Right.
shifting out or anything. Again, same thing. Brake. Right? Pull this down. Pretty easy, right? You want to try it?
Yeah. So you lift it out, or lifted that part,
So,
and then.
so if you grab this, right?
Yep.
From here, and pull,
Yep.
you can kind of just sneak this out. See that?
So grab it.
So,
I see what you're saying.
yes, just like that one.
There it goes.
That's
Okay.
it.
Got it. And it's the same thing in the back. Okay. And then turn it up.
And then, yeah, you can turn it around. Grabbing it from the fourth is usually the easiest.
So that's
Grab it
good.
from here.
Okay.
So that way you can pull the wheel steady and then you just flip it. You have that right? You're using the wheel?
How much would a tool like that cost to loosen
So those are locking skewers.
locking skewers?
Yeah, that comes in a set. His set was $40 or $30. I'm sorry, no. It's about $70
Is it like, let's say, one size fits all for all bikes, or
for the most part. Yeah, but
because
you
the
have
kind I have, it's not. I think this is a much more,
Safe
I have a
system?
department store bike. I don't know if that, it would use.
it would be something similar. It wouldn't be this one because it's for quick release. So you don't actually have to remove it all the way.
That's it? Right
Yeah,
there?
just
Okay.
enough for you to lift the wheel up. Right? Alright, so I guess you do have to remove it all the way. You just remove that,
Okay.
pull the wheel up,
Got it.
right? And then just
No.
put it back just so you don't lose it.
Right.
Okay, you got that?
Yep.
Then
Flat.
Inside?
no, so now you just loosen.
Or the
Oh,
tire?
right, yeah,
And
that's
stick
right.
the tire to
Like $25.
so you want to pull the harder?
Not this one. Different. You want me to show you?
So it won't stick on the roof.
Yeah. Both sides you're doing?
Yes.
You want it this the top half?
So now you want the valve at the bottom.
No, the bottom.
Yeah.
Now the bottom. Alright.
Then we use the tool.
Yep.
Use the hook end to grab onto the tire bead.
Right here?
Yep. You're gonna pull back. Okay. Pull back towards the. And then when you have the tire over the rim, you want to pull back towards you. Be careful. Yeah, so the more angled it is, the easier it is to pull back. Yeah, exactly. There you go. There you go. And after a certain point, it just gets super easy.
Yeah.
Just keep going, one full revolution. You have the valve at the bottom again, so right there you stop.
Yep. Okay.
You have the tire halfway up.
Yeah.
You sneak in. I can take the valve. Sneak in, take the two valve. Remember?
Yeah.
You're gonna pull down. Pull down, and then pull up.
Pull down and pull up. Okay. Now come around.
Alright, now you turn around. You pull the tire back.
Pull the actual tire itself.
So yeah, you're just gonna pull it over, right?
Oh, I see what
so
you're
you
saying.
don't.
Yeah. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Can you give me a quick rundown on what you wanted to tell Stefan?
So it's something called Vector Updater. Hey Stefan.
Hi, how are you? Thank you very much.
No problem.
Sorry, guys.
No,
Just
it's
really
okay.
quick. He needed to explain something to the customer.
Vector Updater. It should be right on the application screen, like on the the start menu.
Oh, it was an app you had to
It's an
download.
application you have to download on your computer.
I downloaded it on my computer. It's not in Garmin Connect.
It's not a Garmin. It's something separate.
So I go on the Garmin website and I download Vector Update.
Vector Updater. Yeah.
And that should tell me when there's a need
Yes,
for
and then with the pedal box, there should have been a small. You show them a small US and plus USB.
Where is that?
It's connected in the computer.
Okay.
If you have that, you connect it to your computer. Make sure your bike is about 5 feet away, just so it reads the pedals. It should find them automatically, and then it'll tell you if you need an update or not.
Okay.
All right.
Let's find that on the
All right. So you got it out, right? We'll put the wheel onto the side for a second. At this point, I'm just gonna use a pump just because
Okay.
I ran out.
That's yours. Yeah.
So if you use a pump, again, inflate it, right?
Just a little bit.
Exactly. You don't actually have to inflate it if you don't want to right now, so we'll inflate it after. But you throw it on.
Okay.
Go ahead and inflate.
Just like a little bit.
Exactly. Just until you kind of hear the hissing noise, which is what you get when there's a hole in there.
Like this. You think?
Huh?
You like this amount of air?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Just
maybe
it's
about
enough
that.
that you're hearing it. And then you know,
Exactly.
okay, I got it. figure
you're
out
like, I know where
where.
the hole is.
Got it. Okay.
You're done. Can you pop it off?
Yep.
So you found the hole, you go back to the wheel.
Right.
Next tube, you go to the side, of course.
So then.
So when you found the hole, go back to the wheel,
Right.
like to the point
Oh,
where.
this is where you're checking it, right?
Exactly.
This is where you come through. You're checking on the inside.
Exactly.
See if you find anything, right? Okay. Now I find the top part here.
Yes, afterwards, yeah. You find the top part. Then you have your new tube.
Right.
Of course, you inflate it a little bit again. Tube then goes to the top.
Right.
You pull the tire back to expose the hole, and then you're going to put the valve in.
Open this up. And then it should give you a there, but at that point,
So yeah, you want the open tire away from you.
James just did it, so you're good. But in the future, it's good to have
So
this
like,
make sure.
so like that.
It seems like
Then you can pull the
people
tire
have
back a
problems
little
with
bit.
those, but like you need to
Point it out from this side, so like that.
updating that.
So then you close the valve. You sneak that guy in there.
Keeping it up to date, solve
And then once you're there, you're going to angle the tire over the tube.
It's a little messy for sure. It works great when it works. Yeah. The problem is keeping it working. Alright, Stefan.
Yeah, you could probably throw over the valve a little bit more, just so then the rest will become a lot easier. Exactly, there we go. So then there you can just sneak the tube in. And if you do it with both hands, it's a little more uniform.
How do you mean?
Like, so if you're in the sensor, use both hands. Sneak it.
Okay. Both sides around. Okay.
So once you're there, you can kind of come, like go to the front and sneak it in through the top. Or just like that. No, you can still do it like that. Just sneak it in. Alright, so once you're there,
Yep.
you have it all the way in.
Okay.
Back at the top, you're gonna start throwing the tire over the rim.
Right. Okay.
Alright?
What's the easiest way to do that, sir?
Both hands, just throwing it over. Exactly. And then, so again, same thing like you did with the tube, both hands. You're gonna use both hands
Okay.
like that. Exactly.
Yes, it is. Hey, I'm looking at your tracks. Sure. How long is that going on? April 11th. So, still a decent amount of time. Cool. Which bike were you looking at?
The 7.2.
Okay. Solid bike.
So once you're there, you can flip it over.
Yeah. Flip it over.
Yeah, and then use both hands to throw it. You can start kind of close your hands,
You know, you're a little more
get
upright.
a little tighter with the.
To riding in the city, feeling super
So-
leaned over. You have a tracking better. Also the slightly
Tighter
wider tires.
at the edges.
A little
Okay,
easier
I see
to
what you mean.
Yeah. So having that's gonna be good. I would say.
And try to never end at the valve.
Try never into the valve.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just any point.
Solid components. I mean, there's nothing bad to say about
So
it.
you can feel kind of how tight it gets around there.
Upgrades
you know,
across the board.
Right.
A lot nicer.
But you can typically do it in.
This is the 7 here. Yeah.
How much is this going for? This is not on sale.
It is. Yeah. It's usually going for this price.
should be-
It's on sale.
So if you just do the tire itself, not the bead.
Yes, this is 6 times.
So
But you do, like I said, you do see upgrades across the board. I will say
yeah,
that we sold a lot more of these.
yeah, just pull it back.
Sure. Okay.
Alright, so once you're here,
Okay.
and you want to make sure the valve is loose.
Not even exaggerating.
That's where you want
Yeah,
to do it right here, right?
exactly.
Okay.
Once you got that down, so on the lock
I
ring,
will tell you this, like, I'm just doing my job and I'm like, before you, I don't, you know, I also, I want to preface this, ignorance is bliss, so if you end up trying this, you might really like it. Want to go like that, so are you okay knowing that information? Yeah, sure. Alright.
I mean, the shit that I'm running now is like.
so you don't want to go too tight because then the valve could then get stuck.
Right. Okay.
But from here, you just pump up your tire
Okay.
again, and then you're pretty much there. You just got to throw it back on the frame.
So, this is 7.3. Difference, right off the bat, nicer frame. So this is a lighter, internally routed frame, which means all the cables run through the inside. Which is nice. It keeps the cables from getting oxidized. Oh yeah, here. Yeah. Thanks for calling Danny Cycles Upper East Side.
And again, stop kind of halfway through just to make sure that the tire's seating properly.
Right. Now you would go come through here.
Just make sure that there's nothing seeping out.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That's
sure.
pretty much it.
Okay, so
If you're good, then you just go back pumping and get back up to where you need to be.
All the way, or
Well,
at
so
this point?
anything you have that's gonna be carry on
Right, it's
won't
not
get
gonna
you all
get
the
you
way.
all the way, right.
Yeah, just enough to get you home.
How do you read that? That
So
Tire.
so you have increments of 20, right? Tires are rated to different PSIs. This one's rated to 85 PSI. So he would just go up to 80. So it's just by pounds per foot, I should say.
It kind of depends. If you get a little crazy with the paint job, it can take a little bit longer, but not much.
Now at this point, you tighten this up all the
You
way.
tighten that, yeah?
Nice, yeah.
Tighten this, and then tighten this as well.
Yes.
The ring here.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally something that we do.
That's it. You throw your motor back on.
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, you'd be able to come by the store and get it, or if you want to.
So typically you want the side that you need tighten on the side.
That's right. So this is here. Yep.
And then you bring it here.
No, so the other way. Sorry.
Flip it around.
Yes. There's this end matching with this end.
Let me turn
Oh, no, you had it right. Sorry. There.
Yeah, I thought I had undid it here. Okay. Got it. So now here.
I do, I just don't have any right now. Let's say that.
So you just have to
Generally, we
remove
sell it from November.
the space over there.
Yeah,
Just
500.
threaded.
There's another Molly that we sometimes sell for 4.
Get the whole other
Black.
side.
It's a much heavier steel frame. I know some of my downtown stores have them in stock right now. Some of those places. Like our Chelsea store, I think, has some, but currently I don't. Thank you. All right, no problem. Thanks for being patient. Sorry. No problem.
Alright, guys. Just make sure in the washers are sitting properly. So this guy right here. See that one?
Yeah.
So now so you want it to be
Right.
centered.
Right. There it is. Thank you.
That one's over.
Up the washer.
Here, wait.
Here. Up the way. Yeah.
Alright, and then that guy's on.
Give me 1 second, right? All right, thank you. Gotta switch this phone.
Just make sure you tighten that very well.
so again that
Tool?
yeah, that tool comes in a kit. And
Exactly.
what kind of a kit is it called?
They're called pinheads.
Pinheads.
Yeah.
So it's called a pinhead kit.
Yes. Exactly.
Nicer component set across the board. Nicer railers, nicer gears, nicer crank. Just a little bit of an easier display. You also get extra speed because of 8 speed to 9 speed in the back. So a little smoother. Nicer grips and handlebar. This is going to really reduce the vibration in your hands. This white padding
So once you're there, bike over, try to keep brake.
padding all the way in. So it's really comfortable there. You get a smoother
Brake,
rolling,
connect.
more puncture resistant tire.
Push over.
Higher quality tire. And it's like a nicer saddle too.
No.
Yeah, throw that over.
Throw this over.
Yeah. So there.
There we go. Okay, and then it comes in over here, right?
Exactly.
That's right.
So again, if you pull on this, it's easier. So use this hand to pull to push this,
Okay.
and then use this hand to pull on that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Got it. I see.
There we
There
go.
we go. And then you're in.
Just make sure your brakes are equally.
Generally sell to bigger guys. This
And
is
it's not rubbing. You can pick up your wheel, your front end, spin the wheel,
quick.
no rub. You're good.
So yeah, we can break out the setup too, and then we'll look it up. And if anything, you can go
okay.
take a quick test ride too.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Cool. So I'm just gonna pretty much got the flat down for the
Yeah.
most part. Now I'm just gonna go through with some brake problems that you might have. Let me